it's the first time you can hear firsthand informations, trends, the situation in all these regions of the planet, directly from the people responsible for this job. So, Sigrid.
Thank you very much, Dan, and thank you to APIA and also to 𝐒𝐢𝐫 for organizing this wonderful conference. And I think it's a great, indeed, display of international unity as well. John earlier talking about the challenges of the automotive industry that are very much the same around the world, maybe different stages of development, but the challenges are. I think I have a couple of slides with me. I don't know if technology will move them for me, or shall I? ACEA indeed unites the 15 major car, van, truck and bus manufacturers in Europe, and we are the voice of the automotive industry towards predominantly EU legislators, but also internationally. So I'm really delighted to be here, as I said, especially also as Romania, and we heard this before, is such an important manufacturing country also for automotive. With several plants in operations producing over 500,000 cars last year. And the auto industry here accounts for around 15% of manufacturing jobs. So really an example of how important the industry is across Europe. And indeed, our industry is one of Europe's most long-standing and also internationally successful industries in Europe, playing a massive role in driving economic growth across all corners of our continent. But, and we heard it already a couple of times, the world is really changing rapidly, and this also means that Europe must change tact as well if we are to preserve these important successes. You see some of the challenges that we face here on the slide, and I think it's fair to say that Europe has long sought to be a global leader in sustainability, setting ambitious standards with the expectations also that others would follow. And this strategy has indeed had some success, as many major regions across the world have often modeled their regulations on the European model, establishing the EU as a global benchmark for environmental regulation. But I think we need to ask ourselves the question, is this strategy still effective today? The world is no longer the same place it was just a decade ago. And can Europe afford to continue to be the standard bearer for global regulation while it faces new challenges, such as fierce global competition and also an unpredictable trade environment, rising costs, and a rapidly shifting geopolitical reality? So regulation can indeed be effective and benefit businesses, creating a level playing field or strengthening and deepening the single market in Europe. Those are excellent examples. But Europe needs far more than just regulation if it wants to retain its place as a sustainability leader and an attractive region to invest and also build strategic industries. And the shift from combustion engines, technology in which Europe has traditionally been a leader, to battery electric vehicles represents an unprecedented transformation, requiring the creation of an entirely new value chain and also a new automotive market, by the way, which both need to be further developed in Europe. And I mentioned already the geopolitical landscape changing. Legislation compels OEMs to produce and market cleaner vehicles, but regulation or mandates alone do not make markets. And I think that is the fix that we find ourselves in at the moment. We need all three pieces of the automotive decarbonization trinity in place if we want Europe to live up to its sustainability goals. So we need mandates, targets, policies is one piece, but we need also manufacturers that make models, cars, vans and trucks. And then crucially, we need a market also. Customers are very, very important. I think we're facing a lot of difficulty today. The market share of electric vehicles is hovering at less than 15%. And in the face of these new facts, we really need urgent action. Consumers remain, unfortunately, reluctant to make the shift. And I think also John already alluded to it before. We are at that stage where we need to move from early adopters and early movers to a totally different set of customers that also need to become enthusiastic about this technology and make that change. And just to give you another example about the need for charging infrastructure, so important to create consumer confidence, we're seeing charging infrastructure targets really lagging behind and not delivering enough to sustain a healthy market. And we put the example, I think, also on the slides here of what is missing still. My country, the Netherlands, has almost 52 times more public charging points in place compared to Romania. Romania ranks bottom in the EU, unfortunately, and that doesn't really help progressing in an equal pace across Europe. So there can be no doubt that manufacturers remain committed to the Paris Agreement and to the 2050 decarbonization goals, but important targets and barriers remain. I'll try go quickly through the rest. This one, Mr. Draghi, has been mentioned already a couple of times today. As automotive industry, as ACEA, indeed, we also very much support his analysis that he put in his report. He dedicated an entire chapter in his report to automotive. The analyses are correct. I think he has made the case that this is not only an important industry for Europe, but there is really also an urgency in terms of getting the balance now right. When I quote from him, the automotive sector is a key example of a lack of EU planning, applying a climate policy without an industrial policy. And I think that's what we have now the opportunity to fix with the new European Commission coming into place soon, and also the new European Parliament already being active and gearing up to do those hearings of the new commissioners. So we're looking forward to that. I'll close, no, that was one too quick, with calling for unity, because none of us can do any of this on our own, not manufacturers, not policymakers, not markets, consumers, dealers. We need everybody to chip in. We're doing a big event in November and December, 6 weeks long in Brussels. If you happen to be around, please do visit, because we believe we have a lot to contribute as automotive industry, a lot to be proud of, a lot to be confident about, innovation, technology advancement, all of that, and supporting the economy. So we're ready for the next challenge, and we really want to work together with everybody in that challenge. Happy to be here, looking forward to the Q&A later. Thank you.